KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12682. Offices in Baton Rouge. Hunt and Hill. Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. It's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome in, Hunt and Hill on a Monday from Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio downtown in the capital city. I'm Hunt Palmer. He is Hill, Jeremy Hill, Casey Gaines, and Taylor Sharp back there on the ones and twos. Jeremy, last week I asked you if this counted as game week because Florida State plays this weekend. You said yes, so it's officially game week. Off-season's over. Off-season's canceled.
Look, have no fear. Game week is here, man. Football time, man. No time better than this time of the year right now.
We'll get a little Florida State preview coming up on Wednesday. But we will certainly get ready for them in Duquesne coming up on Saturday. And, of course, next week it'll officially be game week for LSU football. The Tigers done with fall camp at a scrimmage over the weekend. School starts today. Major hat tip to those of you who are attending college class today. I am big time LSU. That is a great place to be. The real world, not as much fun as the college world. So enjoy it while you're there. And those of you who are slumming it in the real world with us, we'll get you through the next 2 hours here on a Monday edition of Hunt and Hill. Loads to get to react over the weekend. Of course, some disappointing news about John Emery. We'll talk about LSU scrimmage over the weekend. Some of the storylines that came out of that. NFL action is fully underway in the preseason. So we will talk a little bit about some of the storylines that have come out, especially out of Tampa, where it's been a little bit of an eventful training camp. So we'll talk a little bit about that in 15 minutes from right now. Meet the freshman in hour number 2 at 1:15. Jay Johnson having a press conference right this very minute. So we'll get some of the quotes and sound from that. I can't spend the first hour talking the LSU baseball roster, even though I'm looking at it right here on Twitter. We'll talk football, but we are going to talk a little bit at 1:30 about what Jay Johnson, as well as his assistant coaches, have to say. I think everyone is talking at this press conference. So we'll get to a little bit of that in hour number 2. But we will start with the Saints and the Packers over the weekend up at Lambeau Field. I think a pretty meaningful week for the Saints to go up there and get 3 practices in with the Packers and then go out there and get a preseason game in. Jeremy, we talked about this last week. Like the amount of playing time for established veterans in the preseason is dwindling by the week. I mean, there's just nobody out there playing, and that's kind of become the new normal here in the NFL. You did see a little bit from the Saints, but a lot of guys just stood on the sidelines and watched over the weekend.
Yeah, not getting too much. I thought I was going to see a lot more starters and guys who are going to play a predominant amount of snaps for the Saints get some action, but to me, I can't even be mad at it because you feel good about what the guys are doing at practice. You're getting some inter-squad stuff in. Why risk it in a meaningless preseason game? And the Saints team, I can see if this is a very, very young football team like the Jets or the Jaguars or one of those teams out there. So many veterans up and down this roster. I think it's refreshing to see Allen not trying to kill the guys before week 1 and let them come in the season fresh.
Ian Book went the entire way for the Saints. Again, I've kind of been pretty steadfast in my comments that Ian Book is not going to be a factor for the Saints, in my opinion. I just certainly not this year, and I don't really think moving forward he's going to be a factor. But if he was going to have a chance to state his case, this was going to be a huge spot for him. 16 out of 28 for 113 yards. That's averaging 4 yards of completion, just about. I mean, he did turn it over with the fumble and the interception. The interception, Taysom Hill fell down, so I don't know if that's necessarily Ian Book's fault there, but the fumble certainly is. And 4 yards of completion is just nothing. It was a bunch of check downs and screens, and they had some success in the screen game. But there's just, I don't see anything that Ian Book does that lends me to believe that he's going to be a New Orleans Saint for a very long time.
Yeah, man. I think that's the crazy thing about the quarterback position. It's so much luster, so much attention that these guys are going to get, and everyone kind of wants everyone to be the next Peyton Manning or the next Tom Brady, but it's just not the case for a lot of these kids. And I think Ian just happens to be one of those kids. You can't blame the kid. He fights hard. He tries his best to go out there and execute. It's just not to the highest level you want to see for an NFL quarterback, especially a guy that's probably going to be in your backup role, which I think, for Ian Book is probably his ceiling in this league. You want your backup to be able to, be a bridge and win you some games while your starter is out. I just don't see that for Ian Book. And so to me, it creates a world where it's Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston, and you probably try into the season like that. And I could see Ian Book possibly being on the practice squad, but I don't know. I don't see that big-time future as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, they could put him on the practice squad. I think Luke brought up a really good point last week that I don't know that they need to carry a third quarterback on your active roster when Taysom Hill is on the active roster. And if you have 2 injuries in a week and he needs to go in there and play, you can make it work. I mean, nobody on their third quarterback is going to look great in the NFL, but you can make that work with Taysom Hill and free up another spot to add an impactful player where Ian Book's going to hold a clipboard over there. To me, he just doesn't warrant that, and I don't think really honestly warrants that much more discussion on this show, because I just don't think it's that big a deal for the Saints and as far as what they're going to be this coming year. So what did matter on the field on Saturday night? Or Friday night. Look, Chris Olave has the touchdown catch, did a nice job of body control on a ball that Ian Book did, kind of throw him open to the sideline. He turns and makes a nice catch there. I think Olave's got a very, very bright future. As far as the running backs go, again, just nothing really eye-catching. A nice play on a screen route by Tony Jones. He looked pretty good. They found a couple more creases in this game than they did in the first preseason game. But I think probably the biggest storyline to me as far as the running backs goes is they're starting to give Kirk Merritt a look at running back. He had a really nice kick return on Friday, and then they got to practice today, and Kirk Merritt's out there taking handoffs as a running back, and he's a really, really good athlete. We've known that. They're kind of trying to see if there's a place they can put him on the field to use that athleticism, and maybe a spot at running back where nobody's really stepping forward out of your group of Abram Smith and of Tony Jones, and all of a sudden, well, what if this Merritt guy can do what these guys haven't done? Do you think there's a chance that he could stick around on this team?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance. I think anytime you're looking at that Saints running back room, you feel really, really good about Kamara, and you feel like, Mark Ingram's done enough in this league to earn his roster spot. But, past that, I don't think anyone's really proven enough to really have a solidified spot. So I think for Tony Jones or Abram, for Merritt, I think all those guys, they're going to be, a cog in that machine, and they're going to be fighting for those roster spots. So we'll see how it plays out. I think anytime you're a playmaker, you're always going to have a chance in the NFL to make a roster spot. I think it'll be up to the front office out of which one of those guys that aren't Ingram and Kamara that they want to allow on this roster.
Best thing that I saw from a Saints perspective on Friday was Will Lutz from 59 yards, and it was right down the gut and had a little room to spare from 59 yards. So that was really, really good to see. He's been clearly the best kicker of the Peyton era. Garrett Hartley, the most recognizable from a moment's perspective, sending the Saints to the Super Bowl. But Lutz has been the best. And you never know when a guy goes out and he misses all that kind of time, and it's because of an injury, and you come back, and what does it look like? That was as good as it can look. 59 yards right down the middle.
Look, you don't have to worry about head coaches shaking their head at any more bonehead kickers. I think they got that figured out, and I think that was a great sign for the Saints to see him, back in action, back drilling big-time kicks like that. Obviously, it's not regular season, but I think for Will, we know how kickers are, man. They get the yip sometimes, and when those things start going left and right, it's hard to attain. So to see him back out there getting confidence going into the season, that's going to be great for the Saints, because now you got the kicking game fixed, and that was something that was a huge issue last year. So I know they're happy to get Will back.
Cost him at least a game. So that's a guy you want in the equation. Trevor Penning, a lot of action at left tackle, got the start at left tackle in the game. Look, I'm a novice, observer here at that, but it didn't look as good to me in the first preseason game. He had the holding penalty, had a couple of plays where he got beat, and you would expect that, but also showed kind of the edge and the toughness and the strength that you want and that you drafted. And I think the thing that stands out to me when I watch him play, or have watched some of the highlights of him playing as well, is the strength and the power that he's got when he sets his feet and can deliver a blow. And I saw that on display again on Friday. There were a couple of issues, but I think he's making steps forward. It appears to me, just from watching, that I think Hurst is going to be the guy to start the season. It's just a more dependable, more reliable, proven commodity here. But the more reps Penning gets, I think he'll start to figure it out, because he's got some of those things that you just don't teach. He's got the size and the strength, and I think it's going to be a hit as far as draft pick goes, but I don't think he's ready to start at left tackle right this very second.
Yeah, to me, that's probably how I got my positions that are difficult in the NFL. I got to go 1 quarterback, 2 cornerback, and then 3 is that left tackle position. That's one of the hardest position in all of football, because you're going to be on the edge on an island with some of the best athletes and edge rusher all the world. And so it's super, super difficult as a rookie to try to pick that up and figure out what all these guys are doing week in and week out to allow them to be some of the best pass rushers in football. So I think for Trevor, just allowing him to, develop and continue to learn. And I think he'll definitely be probably playing a lot more snaps once the season kind of gets to the latter half.
I've got a suggestion for the Saints defensively. They can take it, they can leave it. I'll just kind of throw it out there. Maybe don't let Danny Etling out the back door for 51 yards. 51-yard touchdown run from Danny Etling?
Yeah, man.
Sir.
Look, no, that was explosive and impressive. Look, my first year in New England, we were playing our last preseason game, and Danny took 180 to the house, man. I think that's what got him a roster spot on the team that year. So, yeah, it's always great to see, LSU, our guys out there in the league making some plays. And, yeah, he got Aaron Rodgers out of his seat. So, anytime you get Aaron bleeping Rodgers out of his sleep, man, you got to be proud of that.
I did not have on my lotto ticket Danny Etling 5-year NFL pro, and we're headed that direction. I mean, he's been 18, 19, 20, 21, and here we go to 2022. That's more than I would have wagered on Danny Etling's pro career, quite frankly.
No, it's definitely, I think for me it's refreshing because, LSU, we're known for so many more positions, quarterbacks, and we got to get some more guys pumping up there. So to see Danny, still hanging on, still doing his thing, still making some plays, it's good to see. So you got to cheer for my boy Danny Etling.
So the Saints lose 20-10 to the Packers, and they move forward in their preseason workouts. Michael Thomas did not practice today, dealing with what Dennis Allen called a slight hamstring issue. It's uncomfortable to talk about him missing more time with injury. Hopefully that heals up and he's ready to go. The good news from the Saints' perspective, Jameis Winston did go out there today. He practiced in the 11-on-11, which he had not done a lot of in the past. He sat out the 2-minute drill portion of practice, but he's out there in 11-on-11s. You still got 3 weeks until your first game. I think that he's right there on track to be a full go, ready to roll for that first game. Obviously, you don't want to miss the time that he's missed. And Dennis Allen said today that he would like Jameis Winston to get some sort of preseason reps in a game. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You're not going to rush it just because you want to get him out there. You got to do the right thing for him and his health first. And right now, that right thing is practicing in a controlled environment, a protected environment. And then, if you can get out there on Friday, maybe.
Look, we talked about, we started the show with today. Ian Book is your second quarterback if something happens to Jameis. So Jameis's health is of full importance to the Saints. And I think him going into the season fully healthy, them not rushing him, them taking their time with him. I think he's, if the Saints are going to have a chance this year, I think it's going to have to be Jameis playing the best football he's played. And to do that, you want him to be as healthy as possible. So take your time with him. You want him ready for week 1 and make sure you have no more hiccups along the way.
When we come back after this timeout, we're going to talk about some of the stories that have popped up around the National Football League. If you didn't see why Tom Brady stepped away from Buccaneers training camp for a week and a half, we've got the answer now, and it's a humorous one in my opinion. That's next on Hunt and Hill.
Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. It's Hunt and Hill.
Kick off week 1 with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today and get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code 1045 ESPN to get in on the action. Then you can turn game day into payday all season long.
You can get a chance at an even bigger payout with the same game parlays. Just check out the FanDuel Sportsbook. They got a tab for every single sport. It's so easy to use. It's safe. It's reliable. And when you win, you get paid really, really quickly. Make every moment more with the FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of the National Football League. You must be 21 and present in Louisiana. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is a non-withdrawable free bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you're someone who knows a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX. Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
To a Monday edition of Early Line as we recap the sports weekend, including the Saints preseason matchup against the Packers, and we make some picks in our daily spread presented by Suspense Games. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch Hour on Monday presented by the Shed Barbecue. If you're looking for a lunch spot, the Shed on Burbank. Same crew as Ocean Springs location. For those of you who stopped there on the beach over the year, on the way to the beach over the years, got a spot right here in Baton Rouge now on Burbank. Awesome outdoor area with a ton of seating, huge television. They got live music and unbelievable barbecue, the ribs, brisket, pulled pork. They got your mac and cheese, your greens. They got it all over there at the Shed now here in Baton Rouge, bringing the lunch hour each and every Monday. You know, it was such an odd thing from the outside when Tom Brady's like, I'm gonna leave camp now. I'm gonna step away. We've discussed this before. Camp even started. Not anything to do with health or anything, and just I'll be back. Where are you going? Well, it's personal stuff. Okay. Where are you going? Well, now we know. He just went to the Bahamas with his family and just spent a week and a half down there. That's what Tom did.
Hey, look, man. Look, if I know Tom the way I know him, I know he had to do some elbow rubbing with Giselle, man. Like, he's been spending a lot less time with the family. She almost had him. She was this close from getting him to leave the football field. But look, man, Tom's not going to give it up like that. Knew something was fishy with that. But, yeah, it's Tom, man. He if he wants to take a vacation smack dab.
In the middle of camp.
In the middle of camp? I mean, what other guy could do that? So why not? Like, I'm all with this.
This is like similar to like when Rodman said, I got to go to Vegas for a little bit. And Jordan showed up with Carmen Electra in the bed and said, you're getting up. That's it.
I don't think anyone's getting Tom out of that.
Nobody showed up knocking on the door in the Bahamas.
No, you leave that guy alone.
He just left. Why didn't he go 3 weeks ago before camp started? I don't understand.
Look, I'm telling you, it's a Giselle thing, man. Look, he begged her to come back. She's like, under one condition, You're going on a family vacation.
In the middle of camp.
That's exactly. Look, she's lucky it's not during the season. Miss a game. So get it out the way now.
I mean, this is an incredible story. That was it. Now he's back at practice today, just firing away. That's something. A little bit of puzzle or troubling news out of Bucs camp if you're a Bucs supporter. Aaron Stinney out for the year after tearing his ACL and MCL in a preseason game. He was battling for a spot at guard. They've now had 2 offensive linemen go down. Ryan Jensen had a knee injury, and we don't know when he's coming back. Tristan Wirfs left practice with the Titans with an oblique injury. It's messy up front for the Bucs right now, and that's just a spot you can't afford to have crater. I mean, you can lose some wide receivers, you can lose, but you can't have the protection for Tom break down. He can't function without it, and I think it's a big deal.
No, it's always a big deal. I think Tom has always had a line that's been more than respectable and then able to protect him. He's always, you never see him leading the league in sacks taken. He's always getting the ball out quick, and he's always had, lines that are reputable that know how to protect him. And so for Tom, he's always going to want to step up in that pocket. And anytime you start hearing guards are going down, it's never a good sign, because if the pocket is collapsing from the middle, we've seen teams who've had success against Tom. They rush forward and they collapse the pocket towards the middle. So that's kind of been the recipe since day one. Drop 7, rush 4, and if you can get after them with 4, you got to set yourself up to win. So for the Bucs, not great signs, and I'm sure the Saints D-line is licking their chops. They love to hear that stuff. So they want to get back healthy. Unfortunately, he's out for the year. So it's, you don't want to be going through that going into the season.
I mean, if you look at the line that they've had the last couple of years, Super Bowl line, last year's team, and then you look at what they've got right now, you've got Jensen, who's out. You've got Ollie Marpet, who retired. Alex Kappa left for free agency. And then you've got this injury to Aaron Stinney. That's 4 guys that you had counted on that are no longer a viable option at this point. And that doesn't even count Wirfs and him going out with the oblique injury. So it's basically a whole new line that's been made up. And that's a huge storyline for me. I think the consensus nationally is you just concede this division to the Buccaneers. You got Tom Brady, this team that won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. They got all this star power, and they are going to be a good team. I think that, but I think the value bet, if you're betting who's going to win the South, the value bet is the Saints. The Saints roster to me is more complete.
Yeah.
It's more balanced. I just don't know about. I mean, quarterback is what it is. But you look. I mean, if you're going 1-53, I think the Saints are more complete than the Bucs are, especially with what's going on up front with the Bucs.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a huge question mark for the Bucs, and I think also injuries on other positions. I think right now you're going into the season with just Mike Evans healthy. You still got Godwin out. Russell's been banged up, and we know kind of the injury history Julio's kind of dealt with throughout his career. So you're kind of banged up everywhere. Leonard's kind of coming into camp 260, which you don't love to see.
Not great.
That's not great. So, and also you pair that with the Saints have totally dominated the Bucs throughout the regular season for the past 2 years. So if you're a Saints fan, this is definitely you're not crying or shedding any tears over this news in Bucs camp, because now you're looking at it. If you can get Jameis going to that field game 1 healthy, you feel like you got a great opportunity to go win this division and have a home playoff game.
The Panthers have named their starting quarterback. Baker Mayfield has officially been named the starter. Of course, the Panthers' first game of the year is against the Browns, as it would be. So Baker will be playing his former team as a starting quarterback in Week 1. That surprised you that Baker was named the guy?
No, not surprising. I think they just gave up some compensation to get Baker, and I think they just watched a full year of Sam Darnold. They kind of know what he brings to an organization and how much he can help them win football games. I think the unknown factor is Baker. We know kind of everything that happened in Cleveland and how he exited. So if we know Baker like we know Baker, he's going to come out fiery, motivated, run around the field with a ton of energy. I don't know how much that's going to help the Panthers win football games, but I think that front office and that coaching staff, they're going to throw him out there and see if he gives them a chance to win. I don't think it's going to go well for them, but not shocking that Baker's the starter.
Bummer for Matt Corral. Liz Frank injury maybe cost him the season and his opportunity to kind of try to be the backup there in Carolina. Now you got 2 pretty significant names at least ahead of you with Darnold and Baker, and Now he obviously not going to be able to participate for a long time, so Matt Corral is probably out for the season. But as far as good news for rookie quarterbacks, appears Kenny Pickett is kind of making his push up there in Pittsburgh, kind of the fan favorite because he's a Pittsburgh Panther, and had a really, really good game over the weekend. 6 of 7, threw a touchdown pass, 76 yards, and there's some consideration that he could win this starting job. I don't think that's going to happen, but they're talking about that in multiple different outlets.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's your favorite quarterback of all time, man. We're talking money-making Mitch right now, man. You're telling me he can't hold the start. Look, you were saying he can't hold down the starting job, the number 3 overall pick in the draft, Chicago's legend himself. Come on, it's money-making Mitch. But no, I think the rookie gives him a better chance to win, which isn't saying much. But look, he's a Pitt kid. You saw the fans in Pittsburgh really, really cheer him on when he came out there. And he's playing well right now. And I think, to me, they have one of the sneaky picks. I know I gave out my rookies of the year and all that stuff, but Pickens is going to be a player, man. He looks like he fits the bill. And you got weapons with Claypool and Deontay Johnson, and we know what Najee can bring to a game. So Pickett can just, have a pulse, and I know it's tough for a rookie quarterback. I think he can outplay Mitchell Trubisky. So let's see what the Pickett era brings.
Did you see what happened in the Cardinals preseason game?
I saw them wearing black helmets and Kyler calling plays.
They did. And that's it. Kyler calling plays. What I was talking about. Cliff Kingsbury gave them the headset, said fire away, and they were humming. They were going into a bunch of guys were about to get cut, but Kyler was calling the plays. He watches tape. The guy knows the offense.
Wait, so how does a guy who doesn't watch film or study and has to get all this stuff in how is he calling plays? Well, doesn't that guy not know a thing about the offense?
Trace McSorley out there spinning the magic beam.
The Penn State kid, but no, I think that's kind of the environment that you would expect with a Cliff Kingsbury. I couldn't see Bill Belichick handing the clipboard to any other players to call plays. So.
What do you mean? He doesn't have a coordinator. He has no coordinators. He just has coaches that are like they're going to figure out what they're going to do when game day comes around.
Look, we're going to see how that plays out. I don't think it'll play out well, but I think for Cliff, letting Kyler do it, I think it's a good sign for them. Get some of that negative media and all those kind of crazy stories getting thrown out, and I'm a fan of Kyler. I think he's a very talented kid, and I hope he goes out there and plays well. But I'm not shocked by Cliff letting the quarterback call some plays.
Did anything in your career ever happen in preseason like got guys calling plays or changing positions or anything goofy in a preseason game? I mean, I'm now starting to see what preseason actually means. Brady's in the Bahamas, and the Cardinals quarterback's calling plays.
Look, it's probably one of the more laughable, jokeable times as an NFL player when all the guys are kind of just cutting back because there's nothing to lose, and you have some coaches who take it too serious. I remember being in New England, we lost. We won our first 2 preseason games, lost the third one, and it was like we lost the second round of the playoffs. Like no one was saying a word in the locker room. Like it was crazy. And then the Bengals is totally different. Like no one's care. Everyone has sunflower seeds, dip in, or wondering where we're going after the game. Like totally different lifestyles. But no one takes the preseason serious. Everyone just wants to get to the regular season healthy and get that over with as soon as possible.
LSU's camp is over. Their final scrimmage of fall camp over the weekend. It is now school and prep for Florida State. We'll talk about Brian Kelly's press conference, what he had to say, coming up next on Hunt and Hill.
Hold down the middle of the day. This is Hunt and Hill. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Ford has $14,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap Saints Packers and the latest from LSU's weekend fall camp. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch Hour on Monday brought to you by the Shed Barbecue. Get you a winner for this week's Lunch on the Shed. Coming up in 30 minutes. You want to enter your office to win lunch from the Shed Barbecue. Go to 1045ESPN.com and register right there. We will give you our winner again in 30 minutes thanks to the Shed. Giving us a lunch hour each and every Monday here on Hunt and Hill. Tigers in Tiger Stadium, scrimmaging on Saturday. I listened to Brian Kelly's press conference afterward, and one of the things that stood out to me is just how much they are moving the parts on the offensive line. Will Campbell has been a stalwart at the left tackle. Looks like Garrett Dellinger has kind of won that center job. I haven't really heard anyone other than Charles Turner's name, and Dellinger's getting every first-team rep. That appears to be kind of etched in there, but the rest is not. Anthony Bradford has played right guard and right tackle. They've moved Frazier right guard, left guard. I don't know what Cam Wire is going to do, if he's going to be the right tackle, if they want to move Bradford in. It's just a lot of moving pieces, and quite frankly, it just concerns me. It just concerns me that they're still kind of cycling through things. Maybe they have a lot of really good options and they just want to see what's best. And in which case the line may be really, really good. It just a little bit concerning with as much moving as they're doing. Jacob and T-Bob this morning almost termed it as like they were given like hockey line shifts, like three guys running in at one time, shifting everybody around and just trying to figure it out. Still got 2 weeks before the first game, and there's a lot of time. And I'm glad that they're going through everything and getting all of the information and as much as they can it just concerns me a little bit.
Look, as long as we're not going Chinese bandits and getting platoon swaps with the offensive line, then we're not in trouble. But, yeah, I think they feel comfortable with certain guys, but I think they're trying to find the best combination of fives. And I think that's something that kind of ailed this team last season. And you saw Coach Davis, kind of mix and match this offensive line and try to figure out, which five are the best and which five can kind of work together. And you saw with the injuries last year, it was hard to find that consistent five. So I think with injuries not kind of being the forefront right now, you got most of the guys that are going to be in that rotation healthy and practicing. So now just get those guys the reps. I think that's what you do fall camp for. Get those guys as many reps as possible. I don't think you have a gun to your head and have to pick a starting five right now. Still got some time left. And then when you kind of get closer to that game week, you can kind of, let the players know kind of which guys are going to be the ones and which guys need to be on standby ready to play. So it's not, the end of the world for me. I think that's why you still go out there and practice. We'll kind of see, who they pick and who they trot out there with Florida State. I think that's going to be a big thing. But right now, I'm not going to get too up in arms about it.
Yeah, the positive, like you just mentioned, is like they don't have a bunch of guys that have been hurt. So you're plugging guys in by necessity because you can't get the five that you want out there. That was the case the entire camp and preseason last year. Every single time practice was open to the media, you went out there and somebody had returned from injury that had a no contact and somebody else was out because they got hurt. And Brad Davis was new. It was musical chairs up there. They just had no chance to get that line where they wanted it for the first game of the season. And really, they played that game of catch-up all year long. They had the great day against Florida in Tiger Stadium. Outside of that, it was really an uphill battle almost the entire season. That has not been the case this year. This time around, you've not dealt with massive injuries, guys missing 2 and 3 weeks. You've had the ability to put whoever you wanted out there in whatever type of order and whatever type of combination and give it a look. And so hopefully they can check the tape from this weekend scrimmage and kind of go through and determine what it is that they want it to look like. My question to you is, what do you think it's going to look like? I think the biggest domino first is, where does Bradford fit? And once Bradford fits, you kind of have an idea where everybody else is going to go, because you've got Campbell at left tackle, you've got Dellinger at center, Bradford is either right tackle or right guard, and then you kind of fit things around him at that point, because you figure Bradford's going to start. I would be surprised if it's Frazier at right guard and Wire at right tackle and Bradford's out. But just a matter of, where do you think he ends up?
Yeah, I think I feel more comfortable with him at guard. I think him on the tackle against some of these edge rushers he's going to see in the SEC. I don't know if I love that, but, you go out there and you get a look at Bradford, man. He fits the bill. He's a huge, huge kid, and he's very, very strong. And so I think that best fits inside. And I think you start Frazier on the outside. I think we've seen enough of Cam Wire. I think he's a great swing tackle to have. If something happens to your starting tackle, you can trot him out there. But I would love to see an offensive line with Campbell left tackle. I would go Shorts at left guard. Then I would go Dellinger center. Then I would go Bradford right guard. Then I'd probably go with Frazier at right tackle as well. So I think that's probably going to be the offensive line if I had to bet. But we'll kind of see what they kind of come up with when we get to the first game.
I guess because Florida State released their depth chart today. It doesn't mean anything to us because we don't know a lot of Florida State players. That's why we're going to get Brendan Sonnone to come on Wednesday and kind of walk us through some things. But I'm assuming that LSU will release their depth chart next week. We can jump to a ton of conclusions, find all the ors, find all the bold names, all that kind of stuff. But I believe we'll get some answers coming up on Monday. The question is, when will LSU determine what they're doing at quarterback? And he said after the scrimmage that Walker is a very likely redshirt candidate. He can play in 4 games, still keep that redshirt, and he called it a 2-horse race. Do you believe that it is still a 2-horse race, or do you think they know who their quarterback is? They're just not saying it.
Man, this is such a tricky one. I'll say I still think it's a 2-horse race. I'm going to stick with what I've thought all along, and hearing reports from the scrimmages and camps. It's not like either one of those guys, have blown the other away, and it's just like not a competition anymore. So I think, even with that being said, I think even if one guy is named the starter, I don't think that means he's going to start all 12 games going to the season. It's not one of those situations. I think they're both going to be on a short leash. And anytime you hear them saying 2 quarterbacks, I think that means they feel like both of those guys can go out there and make plays. And so it's just what guy's going to do it the most consistently and who gives them the best chance to win. I don't think they know that yet. So I wouldn't be shocked if you see both quarterbacks trot out there against Florida State.
I'm going to do – well, that was my next point. I'm going to do a little research on this probably this week sometime at when Brian Kelly has played a little bit of or gone to the backup quarterback or changed quarterbacks mid-game or mid-season. It feels like, without having looked it up yet, that it happens a lot. It certainly happened against LSU in the bowl game. But I think it's pretty likely that 2 quarterbacks play against Florida State. And I think that will indicate that they've hit a lull on offense at some point, whether it's at the beginning or whether it's sometime in the game. If they come out there and beat the doors off them, you're going to have one guy that comes in there and plays, and then maybe if you get up that much, you put the second team guy in. But I think both guys are very likely to play against Florida State is my thought. Brian Burgess in the Bayou 4 chat agrees, says he thinks both will play. Starting to be some more encouraging news on the tight end front. We did talk last week about Mason Taylor. Cole Taylor obviously returns there. And Brian Kelly said, Taylor's going to play. They said, is he a guy that, Taylor, they're both Taylor. Mason Taylor's going to play. The freshman is going to play. And, when we looked at that position, and if you listen to what the coach said, he said in the spring, basically, we don't have the numbers there. We're going to be a little compromised at tight end. And at that, you kind of read into, they'll just go 4 wide receivers. They won't really play much for tight end. It appears now, over the course of 3 weeks, 4 weeks of camp, that Mason Taylor has made enough strides, that Cole Taylor has done enough, that they feel like they are going to incorporate that into the offense just a little bit. Far from a focal point, but it does appear they feel a little bit better about that than they did in the spring.
Yeah, I couldn't see a world where you just don't use tight ends. I think in this day and age in football, with so many edge rushers, so many things teams can do off the edge, you're going to have them in there in some capacity. So to me, it is a breath of fresh air because going into the season, especially on the offensive side, that was my biggest cause for concern. Like what type of production in the pass game or the run game were you going to be getting from that tight end position? And so to see that, I think I always felt great about Mason Taylor, but to see Cole Taylor getting some buzz here, I think it's great because now I think Coach Kelly, they love to do those 2 tight end sets, and then especially in Notre Dame, maybe they have mixed some of that stuff in there because I think it's just going to be a little more difficult to run the ball without tight ends in there. I think it's very, very hard to do unless you have a dominant offensive line. And so to see them, mixing that in there, I think is good for the team.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see. That's a position that I think I feel differently now than I did 3 weeks ago. Like I said, I think a lot of that's just listening to what the coaches say. And Brian Kelly was very, very complimentary of Mason Taylor. On the defensive side of the football, they asked about corner, and as you would expect, Brian Kelly, the first name out of his mouth is Jarek Bernard-Carvers. That's the lock back there. Mm-hmm. The rest, I think, is very, very hotly contested. And we've heard the names. We've heard Colby Richardson. We know Mekhi Gardner. We know the other suspects out there. But it was, I guess, for me, good to hear him mention Jarek first and say, okay, that's a guy who was an all-league player somewhere else who they now have brought in and have no reason to believe that he won't be that type of player in the SEC as well. I'm just glad that he started with Jarek Bernard-Carvers.
Oh, yeah, look, I think anytime anyone's getting, preseason All-American buzz, I think you definitely got to look at them and see what they're going to bring to a team. And so to know that not only is he getting the buzz going in, but he's impressing the coaches and impressing his teammates, I think that's always a sign. Anytime you think of LSU football, you think of dominant defensive back play. So I couldn't imagine a season, where every game kind of looks like that Mississippi State game from 2020. We can't be having that. So to see that you have at least one stalwart corner on the outside, I think Coach House can figure out ways to help those other guys and try to find a way to make plays.
You mentioned preseason All-Americans. Speaking of preseason All-Americans, that team for the AP was released about 45 minutes ago. We will tell you what LSU Tigers showed up on it next on Hunt and Hill.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
LWCC is Louisiana loyal. They are elevating and celebrating champions of Louisiana. If you know a champion of Louisiana, whether it's a person, a nonprofit, an entity that's doing great work and something great for our state, go to lwcc.com/Louisiana Loyal and nominate them to be a champion of Louisiana so we can tell their story all month long here on Hunt and Hill. This month, we are thrilled to tell you about Galen Iverstein.
Yeah, Galen founded and owns and operates a full-service butcher shop and smokehouse in Baton Rouge. As the owner of Iverstein Farms Butcher, Galen brings sustainable, locally raised meats directly to Louisiana consumers, enabling customers to connect with local farms and expanding opportunities for farmers who cultivate and support Louisiana's land has been a decade-long goal. And with a background in sustainable farming, Galen identifies and supports farms that practice these methods by giving them a platform that expands their reach.
Galen Iverstein doing awesome work for our taste buds, for our economy, and for our environment with that sustainable farming. He is this month's champion of Louisiana, presented by LWCC.
This week on dropbiscuit.com or wherever you listen to podcasts is our new series, Pops, the Louis Armstrong story. Pops is brought to you by New Orleans & Company. Check out neworleans.com and come visit New Orleans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Jimmy Ott and Charles Henniger for the Monday evening edition of Game Time, presented by Bet Rivers. We're live from Spoke and Hub on Government Street. Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m., 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hope y'all are staying safe out there on this Monday. And hear the thunder popping downtown here in the capital city. So stay safe, stay dry out there. Monday lunch hour brought to you by The Shed Barbecue right there on Burbank between Campus and Traction. Looking for somewhere to grab some lunch? Make The Shed part of your lunch plans. They get that food out really, really quick. Takes a long time to cook barbecue, but they've got it cooked, ready to roll. They can get it out to you very, very quickly, have you in and out of there in 20, 25 minutes. Make The Shed part of your game watching plans this fall as well. They're going to have, they got tons of seating, huge projection TVs, awesome spot to watch some games. So The Shed, new in town, but you know the brand. Been in Ocean Springs, Mississippi for a long, long time, and been part of a lot of people's stops on the way to the beach over there in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. We're pumped to have them each and every Monday as the lunch hour sponsor. The Shed Barbecue. AP preseason first team All-American team announced today. Tigers represented with one player, Keyshawn Butte, first team All-League. He joins Jordan Addison, of course, the Pitt transfer over at Southern Cal, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. the junior from Ohio State. Deuce Vaughn, all-purpose first team. Remember him from the bowl game over there at Kansas State. Bryce Young is the quarterback. Bijan Robinson, the running back from Texas. Travion Henderson, sophomore running back at Ohio State. Offensive line, you got Big Ten flavor, big time there. The tackles, Peter Skoronski from Northwestern. Paris Johnson from Ohio State. As far as SEC players, Brock Bowers, the sophomore tight end from Georgia, made it on defense. Will Anderson, of course, is headlining that side of things. Jalen Carter, the junior from Georgia, is on the defensive front. Jordan Battle, junior safety from Alabama, is on there. Antonio Johnson, Texas A&M safety, made the team as well. Eli Ricks is a corner on the team as well. Alabama with 5 players on the first team. Yikes.
Yeah, look, you see why they're getting, so many votes for first team in the country, the best team, number 1 in the country. They just, reload. And I know Saban's going to keep talking about this imaginary rebuild that they had. No, you just reload and reload and reload, and they're going to be good again. Just what it is.
Your boy Jameer Gibbs, second team, is an all-purpose player. A name that jumped out to me here, Apu Ika, the junior from Baylor who started here at LSU, obviously in 2019, a second-team preseason All-American over there at Baylor. Look, he was a pretty highly thought-of recruit and certainly played a little bit as a freshman on that 19 team for LSU, but I think he was an All-American. I don't know if I would have quite gotten there, but good for him.
No, I think that's great. I see Aranda, what he's done at Baylor already, and to see, him get that defense to that level already. I think the last thing I would know Baylor's is for his defense, and so to see him getting that team competitive, and obviously you got some former Tigers that you can cheer on. I think it's good. I don't have to worry about Baylor too much, so I can cheer those guys on.
Yeah, you probably don't have to worry too much about Baylor. C.J. Stroud, the second team quarterback on this All-American team. And look, Brian Kelly leaving behind 3 or 4 All-American preseason here on this Notre Dame roster. Missed one. Yeah, Michael Mayer, the tight end, which and that's a position they've always had really, really good players at. He's got to be really looking at this going, man, like this is not exactly what I always sign up for. I always got some stud tight end. Now I'm trying to cobble it together with a guy who hadn't been super productive in 2 years and a true freshman that just showed up here.
No, it's not that. To me, he's probably the second best tight end in the country. I would go with Bowers at Georgia. I think he's the best, but I think, Mayer is right there. He's super, super talented. And so, yeah, this is a total change up from what Coach Kelly is normally used to. Offensive line he can really, really depend on to block, and he can use the tight end as well in the passing and blocking game. Just probably not what LSU has right now, but, that's why he's here. Change his roster around, recruiting, and get it the way he wants.
7 transfers on the first and second team All-American team. That's the new era of college football there. I mean, obviously Jordan Addison we mentioned from Pitt to Southern Cal, Eli Ricks and Jameer Gibbs, the 2 Alabama players who have transferred over that were 5 stars coming out of high school. You got Osiris Torrance from Louisiana Lafayette on the offensive line that's now at Florida. I mentioned Apu Ika. Brandon Joseph is a safety from at Notre Dame who's from Northwestern. Florida State has Jimmy Robinson, who was a standout at South Carolina, who's now a preseason All-American. So, look, it's just there was a day and age you wouldn't consider anyone transferring when they were a preseason All-American. Now it's just par for the course.
Yeah, no, it seems like this is just going to be tradition every single offseason now. I know we just missed the window. No one can transfer now, but as soon as that window opens back up, the floodgates will be back open, and you're going to see it. Guys who are in great situations, having big-time seasons, unhappy for whatever reason and leaving to go to other schools. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, but that's what college football is. So just get used to all the realignment and guys going all over the country.
You surprised Mason Smith and Jaquelin Roy not mentioned here?
No. I think, if they have big-time seasons this year, then I could see them on every list going into next year. But I think based off the freshman season that Mason had, and I think based off Jaquelin, I don't think enough for national, All-American buzz. But, we know how we feel around him in Tiger Nation. So we'll let them shock the world as we go this season.
Maybe postseason All-American. I prefer those anyway.
Yes,
that
exactly.
seems to work pretty well. I thought Mason Smith might, because of the buzz he had as a recruit, being a 5-star. A lot of times that'll carry you. But a lot of pretty good players in the country. So no other Tigers besides Kayshon Boutte on the preseason All-American list via the AP. If you missed any of our first hour, you can catch it on demand, 1045ESPN.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube. We open things talking Saints and Packers. Hit some NFL storylines at 12:15. Talked a lot of LSU at 12:30 with Brian Kelly's thoughts on the scrimmage that concluded fall camp for LSU. So that's all on demand. You can catch it each and every day on those places where you find our stuff. In hour number 2, we will meet the freshmen, 2 more of LSU's freshman class we will introduce you to at 1:15. And at 1:30, LSU, 3 of LSU's baseball coaches meeting with the media right now over at the box. We'll get to Jay Johnson's thoughts, some of the quotes that he gave today as he kind of introduces his new coming freshman class and a host of transfers that have come in that look to be as talented a team as there is in college baseball. So we'll give our thoughts on that at 1:30. And, of course, when we come back at the other side for hour number 2, we will start with Jeremy's lead toss, and it'll be focused on LSU and the running back room. We got some news there over the weekend, so we'll get Jeremy's thoughts on that and kind of how LSU navigates their running back situation right about now. Again, thanks so much to The Shed for bringing you the lunch hour each and every Monday here on Hunt and Hill. If you're looking to get something to eat, get some lunch, get over to The Shed on Burbank. As I mentioned, they got a ton of picnic tables. They got a lot of food, whether it's the ribs, pulled pork, the brisket is awesome. Over there, they got great sides, mac and cheese. They got your greens. Get on by The Shed if you're looking for lunch. We appreciate them. You got catering orders. They can handle that. And we are giving out lunch via The Shed every single week. We're going to do that when we come back to kick off hour number 2. Stay safe and dry out there on this rainy day here in the capital city. We'll come back with Jeremy's lead toss. You're listening to Capital City's leader in sports talk, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Hunt and Hill. Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, it's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Out on the open field, hour 2 here on a Monday, Hunt and Hill. The Shed bringing you that lunch hour each and every Monday. And at the end of that lunch hour, we give you a winner. The winner this week, Peterbilt of Louisiana. Brian Foy over there at Peterbilt has won lunch for his crew via the Shed Barbecue. We'll get in touch with you. Brian, get y'all fed from the Shed. Hour 2, first segment, lead toss.
The lead toss.
Hill trying to go to the outside, turns it upfield, and he breaks it into the clear. He's down to the 10. He's still going. Touchdown, Jeremy Hill.
The lead toss to Jeremy Hill.
Hill to the 20. Hill to the 10. The MVP is in the end zone for LSU. Touchdown, Tigers.
Here's the lead toss to Jeremy Hill.
Well, not the greatest news going on in the LSU running back room. And what other guy to ask about running backs than your boy right here on Hunt Hill with me. So I'm going to talk a little running backs right now. And, of course, we all know in Baton Rouge, John Emery suspended 2 games. Very unfortunate timing. Couldn't have happened at a worse time. And so let's dig into it a little bit. So John obviously missed all of last season. Battled with academics and obviously tried to, go against the NCAA and try to get his eligibility back. That came up short. And so I think I felt great about him, going into the season without any, hiccups or any trouble. And, I've heard nothing but great things. I actually, got a lot closer to John this offseason, got his number, started talking with him and everything. And so, I thought he was really poised to go into this season without any hiccups and ready to play, and be that lead back for LSU. And so, to hear this, and it's very disheartening. And I think we even talked about it last week that, we weren't hearing that buzz about John Emery this camp. I think maybe this may have something to do with it. I think they probably know a lot of times they know when that gavel's going to be laid down far before it ever does. And so they probably knew this was coming. And so it's bad. And so I think for this staff, it's, they already were talking about doing running back by committee. I think now more than ever, that's going to be on the forefront and like something that they can't even do. I just don't see that lead back now in that room. I like Kane to do certain things. I like Goodwin to do certain things. I like Josh to do certain things, but be that every down back. I just don't think we have that now, and I think that's just not a great sign for the running back room.
Yeah, it's so look, if you were listening to this show a week ago, you would have heard me say that I'm a little bit concerned with the fact that John Emery is not leading the team through the drills. He's not being mentioned very much in the scrimmage reports. He's not taking the reins of this running back room and becoming the alpha, the guy. And to me, he's the guy with the highest ceiling, and for that not to have happened, I just thought that's not a good thing for this team. And then all of a sudden, you get the rest of the story. And the rest of the story is that LSU has known this was a significant possibility and is the reality now for some time. This is not brand new news that just showed up. They've known this. I've tried to get a little bit of information on exactly what all went down, and there's just not a ton. This was an academic issue that was discovered last year, and he basically was falling short of the milestones needed to maintain eligibility. And when you fall behind those, there are consequences that are written in stone. And yeah, I would love it if the NCAA would take a look at the entirety of the situation and go, yeah, that happened, but since that happened, you've done everything right and you've got your GPA where it needs to be and you're passing the required hours. You know what? Go ahead and play. But they've got rules, and I don't know all of them, but they're obviously significant enough to where he had to miss all of last year and is going to miss the first 2 games of this year. Does the punishment fit the crime? Probably not here. He's already missed a season, so no, to me it doesn't. But it's the reality of the situation. But to me, if you're looking at this thing, there's 2 options there. One, he wasn't playing well and the other guys passed him, or 2, something out of his control at this point. Now, it wasn't his control. It's not anymore. Has pushed him down the depth chart until he's ready to roll, and maybe he does have that breakout year we've been hoping for after he gets to the field. It sucks. I hate it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and if it is an academic thing, it's just, to me, like, oh, my goodness, all the resources the school puts into, the student athletes and their academics at Cox Building. I don't know how you got coaches, you got academic advisors. There's so many, lines and so many things, so many bridges you have to cross before you become ineligible. I just think this thing should have stopped way before if that's the case. And so I think right now the coaches have to figure out a way to get the best out of this run game, because to me, I like Jaden Daniels. I think he can win games, but to think that he's going to drop back and pass it 50, 60 times a game and deliver you from evil, I just think you're setting yourself up for failure. So they're going to have to run it. They're going to have to find some guys they feel good at, and so they're going to have to utilize the guys they have now. And so I think they're down to 3 scholarship running backs, which you never like to see. And so I think now you have to trot out Noah Cain. I think that's going to be your starting running back. You feel great about him, in the passing game and picking up those blitzes, which I think is going to be huge. And then I think you probably give Armani Goodwin the carries. I think you find a world where, Noah Cain's probably that 3rd down back, and he's probably that back you trust the most. And then I think Josh Williams is going to come in there and get some snaps as well. And so definitely when I hear those names, it just sounds like running back by committee. It's not the backs we've heard in the past. It's going to take the offensive line to step up and play big. I don't think any of these guys are going to have, Darius Geis or Leonard Fournette type seasons where they're making guys miss left and right. They're scoring big time plays. It's going to take a group and team effort. And so, the thing to me that kind of hurts me the most about all this is, I know it's just 2 games, but to start the season with Emory, I think he gave you your best big play ability. Yeah. And so you lose that threat, a guy that can score from anywhere on the field, and just makes it harder to score touchdowns and have those explosive plays. So we'll see what these other backs have to offer and see if one of those guys can step up. I just don't think they have the ceiling that John Emery has.
It'll start with Cain, I'm sure. He'll get you what's blocked, be a solid player for you, and then Goodwin will have his packages, and he'll play some 3rd down stuff, and they'll get him to the edge a little bit and see if he can't do some things in space. And then Williams is going to play. Josh Williams is absolutely going to play. And again, is he the most physically gifted guy out there? No, but he's made some plays in Baton Rouge, and he's going to play. So those 3 guys will be your guys, and it's really just the one game. You miss him for Florida State against Southern. You can trot me out there running back. I'll let you be just fine. But it's it's just disappointing, and it's just so much adversity that John has had to go through, and it just was really disappointing news to get that he's going to be suspended for 2 games. It just doesn't appear to me that the punishment fits the crime here. It looks like you're talking about a guy who has done everything he's supposed to do in the classroom since this moment. He's sat out an entire season of his college career, and we're tacking 2 games on the back end of it. I don't know why or what the rule says, but it appears that this has nothing to do with anything that happened recently and everything to do with what happened a year and a half ago. And to me, that just, as usual with the NCAA, doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. We shouldn't be in the mode of just trying to punish everyone we can punish. We should be trying to get guys moving in the right direction. You punished a guy by missing an entire season, and that was announced 2 weeks before the game against UCLA last year, and now we're still dealing with it a year later. That just doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and I think for me it's super unfortunate, man. I was really, really rooting for John to come out this Florida State game and come out the guns blazing, man, really showing everyone the back he could be and really being that lead dog. And You know, you look at what Coach Denbrock did last season. You look at what Coach Kelly did last season. They want to be balanced. They want to run the ball. Both of them ran the ball more than they passed it last year. They both had 1,000-yard rushers last year. So you know Coach Denbrock, you know Coach Kelly, they're going to run the football. And so without the best rusher, to me, it's going to make that avenue a lot tougher. But if there's anyone I trust to get those guys motivated and to get those guys going, it's Coach Frank Wilson. Obviously not going to coach the talent that he has before in the past, but I think he will find a way to, put those guys in position. He knows their talent. He knows what they do every day, and go get, like you said, get good one on the outside. Maybe find some stuff inside for Kane. See what Josh Williams can do in the passing game, and try to find a way to get some production out of this room, because I still think Emery's the best back in that room, and without him for a couple games, it's going to be tough. But he'll be back.
It's so they've known about this. They're preparing for it. It's why when we've gone out there, Emery has not been leading the way. So they'll be ready to roll in the first game against Florida State. It's not like this is a targeting penalty that pulls one of your starters out unexpectedly, and you just got to go in there and figure it out. They will have had this information for a long time, and they'll have a game plan that's ready to roll for the guys that are going to be out there playing. Just, like I said, it just sucks for John Emery. That's the way we are, but that is the way things go with the NCAA. That's Jeremy's lead toss here on a Monday. When we come back, we'll meet a couple of freshmen, still some LSU baseball talk as Jay Johnson is meeting with the local media at this very moment, so we'll talk about that in about 20 minutes from right now. Don't go anywhere. It's Hunt and Hill.
Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. It's Hunt and Hill.
Bayou Ford. Check out the website, BayouFord.com. Right there, when you go to the website, you'll see the words in bold, don't settle. Don't settle. Let them customize the car that you want. They can have that thing turned around in 2 to 3 months, and you can be driving around, whether it's the Explorer, the Expedition, F-150, F-250, the new Broncos. Let them customize a vehicle for you. That is the new wave of car buying. 50% of buyers never set foot on the lot at Bayou Ford. 75% do some work online. The inventory is there every single day. The specials are there every single day, and sometimes they change. They'll update it right there on the site. So if you're in the market for a vehicle, go to BayouFord.com.
Yeah, head over to BayouFord.com. They have the all-new 2022 Ford Expedition Timberline. It has the Ready Lift 3, and it has Sorando Window Tint on there. Also, all-new 2021 Ford F-150s. They're getting $14,000 off MSRP, including the Black Widow edition.
Their website is BayouFord.com. Bayou Ford, they're going to do right by you.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy, step up your...
To a Monday edition of Early Line as we recap the sports weekend, including the Saints preseason matchup against the Packers, and we make some picks in our daily spread presented by Suspense Games. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Out in the open field here, Monday edition of Hunt and Hill. Glad you are spending it with us. Hope you are staying safe and dry. Weather sounds nasty out there in Baton Rouge. We are inside, obviously, but you can hear that thunder cracking outside. So y'all stay safe out there on this Monday. For those of you headed back to school at LSU, enjoy. Best time of your life. Speaking of best time of your life, I guess it's a good segue here to just meet the freshmen.
Meet the freshmen. Freshmen, meet the freshmen. They're the newest Tigers on the team.
Got two more here on a Monday. We'll have two more tomorrow, and then we'll have rolled through the entirety of LSU's new signing class. Start today with Quincy Wiggins, 6'5", 275 pounds from Madison Prep right here in Baton Rouge. He was a four-star by the 247 composite, number 76 player in the country, number 13 defensive lineman, number 6 player in the state of Louisiana, was an Army All-American, and is just dripping with potential. This is a guy who was just a basketball player up until his junior year of high school, and they said, hey, you might want to go try this football thing out, and he absolutely wowed on the summer camp after his junior season. That's when the hype kind of started, and that's when a lot of teams got involved. LSU was able to keep him home, and as you go out there, Jeremy, and you see practice, some guys just kind of looked the part, and Quincy Wiggins is that. He absolutely fills out the uni, and we'll see what he's got in terms of fundamentals and playing the game at this level. But in terms of just raw tools, that's what they look like.
No, he definitely has all the raw tools. He's big, strong, and fast. He looks like a baby Danielle Hunter out there, which is saying a lot. And so, to me, I was shocked by them giving him consideration to be playing early on, which I think is always, a great sign. I thought he was, a player that possibly may play in some mop-up duty this year and probably be looking towards next season, especially with the guys you have on the outside and Ojulari and Gabe. But all signs are pointing to him, being a playmaker and going out there and showing that raw talent. And so I'm excited for Wiggins. I think, anytime you walk out there and see a player that's built in that frame, you want him to put the technique behind it. And if he can do that, I'm excited to see what he can bring for the Tigers.
These stories surface all the time, and we visit them all the time. And Charles Handigraf tells us a lot. When Skylar Green got to LSU, he was having some trouble picking up Jimbo's system. And Saban, who had recruited this kid and is dealing with a lot of the defense, why is Skylar Green not out there? Well, it's Nick. He doesn't know the whole offense. And Nick said, Jimbo, teach him one play. Teach him one play. Well, they ran the slip screen against Arkansas, and he took it 80. So, and Handigraf said, there's the play. They taught him the one play. That's the play. And if Quincy Wiggins is young in his football life and does not have every single fundamental that you may need, teach him one thing this year. If you want to get him out there in pass rush situations, just teach him to pass rush this year, and we'll, once Ojulari and Gay and all those guys move on after this year, well, then he slides in there. But if you're going to ask him to be an impact on this team, maybe just put him in situations where he doesn't have to worry about dealing with the run or just tell him to get up the field and go pass rush.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to fit him early on in his playing career. Just, obviously in the third down, obvious pass situations, just let him pin his ears back and go get the passer. I think we saw, Mason Smith do that last year as a freshman, and just, then put him up there and just say, hey, Mason, just go get the passer. So I think Quincy should be the same thing this year, especially with you rotating your defensive line like I think they can. I think I talked about the platoon swap system.
Yep.
I think they could actually do it, and it'd be viable for the defensive line. That's how just much depth they have in that room. So, yeah, I'm excited for Wiggins. I want to see him go out there and see if he can help this team this year, because if he can, it's going to make that defensive line extremely, extremely tough to deal with.
So another guy that came in with incredible physical tools was a little bit raw because of what his high school asked him to do, was Kendall Beckwith. And he was a quarterback there, and he kind of did everything, but clearly going to be a defensive player here in Baton Rouge. And they were teaching him linebacker, but in the process, they also put him down there and let him just go rush the passer a little bit in camp, and he was really tough to deal with. And he started his career with his hand in the dirt a little bit and eventually moved back to middle linebacker as time wore on. But when you got a guy with this kind of gifts and this kind of size and those long levers, it's enticing to get them out there on the field and see what they can do. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know that Quincy Wiggins, I would bet that he has a huge impact early, but maybe as the season goes on, he continues to get reps and reps and reps. But I do think as of next year, first game, that's a guy that's out there and in a starting role and potentially a star. The good news is they can ease him in because Ojulari and Gay and Jarrell Cherry and all those guys are older players that have the experience that can handle most of the reps.
Oh, yeah, they definitely can. I think that's what creates a situation for him where you don't have all that pressure in the world. To me, it's like night and day compared to what's going to be asked of Will Campbell. He's going to be asked to be a starting left tackle in the SEC and hold down that fort. You don't have to ask that from Wiggins. You can ask him to come in there, spot duty. Maybe there's 5 or 6 snaps a game where he's rushing on third down, and you just let him pin his ears back. And, as he gets, confidence, as he gets reps, as he, builds his rapport with this competition at the college level, you can start, uplifting his role and giving him more snaps. So I think right now I would not be shocked at all if I see him out there in that Florida State game. I think he has the talent to go out there and do it.
And the second freshman here of today, Fitzgerald West, defensive line product from Lafayette Christian Academy over there in Lafayette by 247 composite, number 995 ranked player in the country, 133rd ranked defensive lineman, number 42 player in the state of Louisiana. And Fitzgerald West comes in at 6'2", 325 pounds. He has been looked at both sides on offense and defense, and they're going to try to determine where his future lies. It's not going to be this year. One of the last, in terms of rating players, one of the last ones in this class, but he does have some pretty good size and is a guy from the state of Louisiana, so you take him in. He has worked a little bit on offense. He's worked a little bit on defense. I don't know where his future lies, but he's a guy who is apparently right now agreeable to just trying to do whatever he can to help.
Yeah, and now you look at the molds, and I think to me he fits more of a D-tackle mold, especially with what Coach Kelly's trying to do. Anytime you see offensive lineman already 325 as a freshman, that's normally not what Coach Kelly's looking for. And so I think for me, I haven't seen much of him, especially with the ones out there for camp. So I don't think there's a world where he's probably going to be playing this year. I would love to see him at D-tackle. I know that room's probably the most difficult room on the team to try to get any sort of playing time in right now. But I just don't know if he profiles as a guard, especially in this Coach Kelly system. But we'll see. I mean, anytime you got a 3-star, there's no rush for them to have to play a significant amount of snaps early on. You can kind of develop those guys and take your time with them. Let's kind of see with this coaching staff, what role they have for him, because I just don't think it's going to be easy for him to get in on the offensive line.
Going back to our first episode of this, which was the 15th of August, we've gone through Walker Howard, Terrence Welsh, Harold Perkins, Nathan Dybert, Emory Jones, Landon Ibieta, Will Campbell, Jordan Allen, Bo Bordelon, Mason Taylor, Quincy Wiggins, and Fitzgerald West. Just 2 more to go tomorrow. That is Ty G. Hill and Demario Tolan. So we'll get to those guys tomorrow. That is today's edition of Meet the Freshman. I want to remind you, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust hope to add to your football party budget this year with a $5,000 national grand prize or a $1,000 local cash prize. Register for a chance to win at 1045ESPN.com. Best of luck. Happy tailgating from Citizens Bank and Trust and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. And AJ Benza deconstructs stories of power, grip, of price, of fame inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast, Fame is a B. Listen, download, or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com. Take a time out. When we come back, Jay Johnson and his assistants have been at the mic for like an hour and 10 minutes. I've been looking at quotes. I've been reading tweets. We're going to get some thoughts coming up next on Hunt and Hill.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
Revelry Sports and Entertainment, RevelryTeam.com. Tailgating season is upon us. If you want an unforgettable fan experience, let Revelry handle your turnkey tailgating.
Yeah, so I have to tell you guys about Revelry's full-service turnkey tailgating and their standard package, which comes with 25 to 30 people in capacity, a 10x20 high-peak tent, electricity hookups, all-day concierge, bellhop service, and they even hook you up with a post-tailgate cleanup.
Gotta love the post-tailgate cleanup. That is crucial because when it's time to go in the game, you don't want to have to worry about loading everything up, kicking everybody out, cleaning up the trash. You don't do any of that. Revelry does all of it. You just head on into Tiger Stadium, just 3 blocks away from Patrick Taylor Hall, where they set up in their tailgate village, and your work is done. You can do a season-long pass. You can do one specific game. If you're a business owner or run a business, you want to do team building or entertain clients at an LSU tailgate, but you don't know where to start because you don't really have a tailgate, Revelry has got you covered. Check out the website. It'll give you the schedule, the dates, the services. All that is there at RevelryTeam.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè?
Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap Saints Packers and the latest from LSU's weekend fall camp. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lots coming out of Alex Stadium in the last hour and 15 minutes. Jay Johnson meeting with the press, as did two of his assistants. Some of the nuts and bolts coming out. Fall ball is going to move, as I remember it, move back a little bit here. October the 2nd through November the 20th. So that's a full 6 weeks there. They will play McNeese Sunday, November the 6th. That's after the Alabama game. They will play Louisiana Lafayette Sunday, November the 15th. And then Friday through Sunday, November the 18th through the 20th will be the Purple and Gold World Series right up there before Thanksgiving. So those are the dates of LSU baseball. So as I look through the quotes, the tweets, some of the things that Jay was talking about, Josh Jordan also spoke, who's come over from Duke, as well as Wes Johnson, LSU's new pitching coach. Alex Milazzo had surgery. This is all reported from Leah Van's Twitter handle. Had surgery, feeling a lot better after he fought some injuries all of last year. Hayden Travinski did play in the Cape Cod League, and all three incoming catchers could have been drafted. They came to LSU. That's Brady Neal, Jared Jones, and Ethan Fry. Keep those guys away from Coach Kelly. They look like football players, is what Jay Johnson said to the assembled media. Jeremy, we talked about catcher a lot when we were talking about the draft, and that LSU just needed an influx of talent at that position. They've gotten it in a big way. You get a healthy Alex Milazzo, a Hayden Travinski who's been banged up basically for 3 years at this point. Those two guys get healthy and come back, and then you bring in Brady Neal, Jared Jones, and Ethan Fray. That's the influx of talent you're talking about.
Man, look, when we talked about it before the show, it's like they're going to have to make some decisions. Like, it's so much talent at so many different positions. And to me, quite frankly, it's a great problem to have if you're Jay Johnson. Not so great if you're one of those guys on a fringe roster spot. But, yeah, I think especially, watching the team last year, especially, in the postseason, there are some balls you could have got stopped up that could have saved some runs, saved some runners from moving over. And you weren't able to do that. So getting a catcher back there, I think going into next season that could stop all those things and bring something, to the plate. Maybe it's one of these freshmen who have a high ceiling. Maybe it's someone who's been on the roster. But I think now that you have options, I think Jay's going to find the best guy for the job and get that guy out there helping the team. And
probably going to be multiple guys at the catcher spot. But I think one of the questions that everyone had is kind of what LSU does in the infield. And this is a quote from Jay today, reading off Leah Van from the Advocates Twitter. It said, relative to the middle infield, Jordan Thompson's back. He had a very good season last year offensively. From the midpoint, he did a much better job defensively at shortstop. And I think we brought in the best player in Louisiana in Gavin Guidry. He's a two-way player, but he will exclusively play infield. He turned down significant potential bonus money in the draft. That's surprising to me that Gavin Guidry's not going to, it appears from that quote, do any pitching whatsoever. He is purely going to be an infielder, and I think is likely to earn a spot at second base or at third base. Barb's put some really good players into LSU's program and some really good players into professional baseball over the years. Gavin Guidry is thought of as one of the best to come through there, and I thought he was going to pitch a little bit.
Yeah. I think for Gavin, especially with the guys you lost in the major league draft, that you thought you possibly had a chance at getting. I thought that would have made his avenue to play as a freshman a lot more difficult than what we may have thought when looking at him as a recruit. But now I think that avenue is open as it's ever been. I think I could see him either playing second or third for this team going into this year. If he can bring the bat, with the infielding skills, I think he can be one of those freshmen that Jay Johnson depends on to really, really help this team.
Ben Nippolt is the most recent add to this infield. Jay Johnson talked today about how much he appreciated that Nippolt had almost twice as many walks as strikeouts at VCU. He's an infielder, another guy that's going to add some depth. And they thought that Carter Young was going to be at LSU, and all of a sudden at the 11th hour, the Orioles find an extra 1.3 and toss it at him. So you've got to go kind of scramble. And Jay Johnson has proven, very much like Will Wade before him, that he will he will fill that roster up. He will go find. He will have a plan B if something happens. And then Carter Young signs, and all of a sudden, boom, they go to VCU and grab Ben Nippold, and he comes in to give you some depth. I've just been so impressed with Jay Johnson over the last 2 years in his ability to manage the roster. And now, in this day and age of college sports, it's all of them. Roster management is a year-to-year thing as opposed to kind of a program builder. You just got to go fill the shelves with as many guys as you can find. Sometimes you get a guy, and in this sport, he can be gone pretty quickly with the draft.
Yeah.
That happens when Mikey Romero bolts and Tucker Toman bolts and Carter Young bolts, and all of a sudden you don't have quite the influx that you may have thought at one point you were going to have on the infield. But he always has a plan B, always has another guy he can go get.
Look, I mean, if you didn't see the way this man called games all last year without any aces, I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, you got to give Jay credit from the top down, just the way he runs those baseball games, the way he recruits, the way he hires his staff. I mean, you lose 2 coaches to big-time jobs, and you go fill them up with some of the bigger names you can find. And so, in every way, it's hard to poke holes. I know there's still going to be some people in Tiger Nation not mad we made it to Omaha, but look, I like what he's building here in Baton Rouge, and I think you got to start from the ground up, and he's building a phenomenal foundation for this baseball program. And so I want to continue to see Jay Johnson do it. Can't wait to see that preseason #1. Things are going good for baseball. Sun Hill, we got to talk some baseball.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So Jay Johnson started his press conference today by saying, it's the middle of August and we're talking college baseball. That's why we come here. That's why Jay Johnson wanted to come here from Arizona. I don't think there's a lot going on in Tucson on the baseball front as of this week, but we did want to talk about that. Look, Josh Jordan, LSU's new recruiting coordinator, came in and he gave an introductory speech as he was talking to the media and said, this is the New York Yankees of college baseball. And it kind of felt like that as we were going through the transfer portal, and you're grabbing the National Freshman of the Year for the second year in a row and Tommy White, and you go get Thatcher Hurd, and you go get Carter Young, and you go get these guys from these massive baseball programs that you would think would be able to keep the best of their players around, and most of them ended up coming to Baton Rouge, and Josh has got a point there.
Look, man, it's different when you walk into Alex Box and you see all those titles, man. Not many baseball programs can flex those muscles like that. You look at all the major league talent, there's not many better baseball programs in the country that you can point to. And so you get a guy that's running the show that can really put on what LSU can offer a lot of these college kids and high school kids. They're going to come, and I'm glad to see it and to see Jay Johnson taking advantage of it that quickly. All signs are pointing to another Omaha trip. We got to make it happen, babe. Come on, Jay. Let's do it, man. Omaha.
I want that very badly. I also want to mention, I'm scrolling through these tweets. Obviously, weren't at the press conference. It just ended, and we were sitting right here, and I'm kind of monitoring things go. So I don't know that the order that we've done this has been perfect, but it's just as much as I can accumulate from Leah's Twitter feed, from Glenn West's Twitter feed, and they were talking about Gavin Dugas here, and that is a guy who, it's such an odd career arc because you hit 19 home runs and lead the SEC in RBI. You are the catalyst for LSU's team that went up to Eugene and won a regional, and then you come back and have such a rough fall with a new coaching staff here, and you just never really heard Jay Johnson mention much about Gavin Dugas. He just wasn't a guy that he talked about. I'm thinking, this guy's going to hit fourth. Like, he's going to be right there behind Cruz and hitting a bunch of home runs and being a huge piece to this offense, and it just didn't happen for him in the fall. And then he got hurt, and he was banged up all year. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. He's crashing into the wall. It was he just couldn't stay healthy, and it just didn't all come together. He hits the huge home run in the Monday game when LSU comes up short in Hattiesburg. But I think the decision for Gavin to come back is a really big one for this team, because I do think that what happened 2 years ago was not a fluke. Him hitting a bunch of home runs and being the best player on LSU's offense for a lot of that year until Cruz kind of came on was not a fluke. Like, that is the guy he can be, and I think there's room for him on the infield. I think he can probably help you at second base if you want to fill the outfield with some other guys. If Paxton Kling wins an outfield spot, or whatever the case may be, I think he can really help. And I think that his story's not done here in Baton Rouge.
No, I think he's going to be a guy that I think this team is going to depend on. I think, anytime you got to me, a guy who's, a Swiss Army knife, you can put him in the outfield, you can put him in the infield. He can swing the bat for power. I think there's going to be a role for Gavin on this team, especially next year. And so I'm going to be dependent on him. I know he didn't play as much as he would have loved last season, especially being banged up a little bit. But I think he's going to play a lot of baseball for the Tigers this year. And with him and with all the other guys that's in this lineup, it just, man, I'm having, great thoughts about what this baseball team can be next year.
Look, it's I'm looking at some of the heights and weights given for some of these guys, and think about Jaden Newt, who LSU sweated till the very, very end. He comes in 6'4", 235 pounds as a true freshman. You look at Chase Shores, who comes in from Midland, Texas, 6'8", 250 is what he's listed as, throwing from the right side. Paxton Kling, 6'2", 210. I mean, that guy's going to be a monster at LSU before his time is done. Jarrett Jones comes in at 6'4", 230 pounds as a catching prospect. I mean, that's no joke. Those guys coming in are legitimate size. I'm looking at the rest of the roster. Josh Pearson looks like he switched to number 11. I can't even remember now that I'm thinking of it. I think he wore a single digit last year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember what.
No,
Pearson
he wore 39. I
Oh
believe.
yeah, that's right.
39,
Yeah, 30.
39,
Yeah, that's what he definitely wasn't 11. That's not what he had worn in the past. So just seeing some of these guys on this list is it's an impressive group of talent. The last guy I want to mention here is Javen Coleman. They said he's going to be 1 year through Tommy John in March. So you just wouldn't figure that he is going to pitch this coming season. They're going to be smart about it. They're not going to rush him back. They are over. When I look at this roster, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. They've got 44 guys on the roster right now, and that's going to likely have to be trimmed a little bit. They've got some room with the COVID guys, with Beloso, who's on there, that you've got some room to play with Dugas. You've got some room to play with. So those guys aren't going to count against your 35 because they're COVID guys who are using that extra year. So we'll see just how many guys make it through the fall. But it's going to be a really, really competitive fall. And I'm really pumped to get out there and watch them play McNeese, watch them play Louisiana Lafayette, and then watch the Purple and Gold World Series. It's going to be high-level baseball out there at the box this fall. So pumped to get out there and check it out. I'll listen to Jay's press conference again after we get off the show this evening. If there's something really pressing or some quotes that I'd like to talk about, maybe we revisit it tomorrow. But when Jay goes out there and gives an hour-long press conference, we're going to have a little bit of comment on that, and so we did here on a Monday edition of Hunt and Hill. Want to remind you, professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studio podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com. We'll come back and close up a Monday edition with some Take It or Leave It. It's Hunt and Hill.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Kick off week 1 with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Just join today and get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code 1045 ESPN to get in on the action. Then you can turn game day into payday all season long.
Look, you can combine your bets, chance for a bigger payout with the same game parlay. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with the promo code 1045 ESPN. They've already got the college football tab there. You can start to bet some of these games. Nebraska Northwestern from Dublin coming up this weekend. Line on that one, 12.5 for Scott Frost Huskers. We'll see about all of that. But make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and present in Louisiana. First online real money wager only. $15 first deposit required. Bonus issues is non-withdrawable free bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
This week on DropBiscuit.com or wherever you listen to podcasts is our new series, Pops, the Louis Armstrong story. Pops is brought to you by New Orleans & Company. Check out NewOrleans.com and come visit New Orleans.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner Care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off.
Me, Jimmy Ott, and Charles Henniger for the Monday evening edition of Game Time, presented by Bet Rivers. We're live from Spoke and Hub on Government Street. Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m., 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Closing up shop here, Monday edition of Hunt and Hill. Been a busy one. Jeremy said we're at game week now. I don't have any reason to disagree. Florida State, Duquesne, coming up on Saturday. Are you going to watch that game?
I guess maybe.
Is it on TV? I haven't even checked.
I would think so. Maybe ESPN.
I mean, it's not like there's a
something.
huge. Not like there's a huge,
Duquesne following.
Let's see. Game summary.
I would guess ESPN, maybe one of the ESPN 3, or I know they got a million.
ACC Network.
Isn't that ESPN though? Technically.
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. It's a 4:00 Central kick. I don't know what the ACC network is. I don't think they're great.
Because the SEC network is technically ESPN.
No,
right?
it's through ESPN. Yeah, and the ACC network has a tie with LSU, with the ACC, but you're gonna have to find that channel. They have to head over to Pluckers or something to catch that one. But it says Florida State here has a 99.5% chance to win the game against the Duquesne Dukes. So we'll see. But yeah, it's game week, and we're going to talk to Brendan Sonnone. He covers Florida State for 247. We're going to have him on Wednesday to kind of get a state of the Seminole Union. They've got some injuries in the interior of their offensive line that they're a little bit worried about, I think. But we'll get all those details from Brendan. We tried to get him today, but they had press conferences and everything, so let him handle his business over the next 2 days, and we'll have him on Wednesday. I want to get some fantasy football talk in this week, as well as drafts are starting to crank up. I've got mine coming up this coming Sunday, so it's football season. It is coming fast and furious. Let's do some take it or leave it. Finish up the Monday show.
Alrighty here. Bengals kicker Evan McPherson. He was seen at Bengals camp drilling a 65-yard field goal. Are you taking or leaving? He has a chance to beat Justin Tucker's record of a 66-yard field goal.
Leaving it. Bengals are going to score a touchdown every drive. No field goals. Not settling for 66-yarders. We're getting into the pay dirt every single drive. That's what we like.
All right.
But no, he's really good. And the Bengals Bengals should be pretty good. That's exciting stuff. Miami Heat have announced they're signing 42-year-old veteran forward Udonis Haslem. It'll be his 20th year in the league. Udonis Haslem, best job in all sports. Take it or leave it.
Well, I'm taking that, man.
I'll
Look,
take
you get paid millions of dollars to hold a clipboard in basketball. You don't play a minute. You don't have to sweat. You just hang out, ride on charter jets, hang out with the team, watch NBA game after NBA game. I mean, what other job in the world could you want, man? He's a courtside seat every single night. Doesn't have to lift a finger. So, yeah, UD, I got to tip it to you. I don't know how you did it. I don't know what you did with Pat Riley. I don't know how you got with Coach Spo. Y'all got something going on. But, look, I can sign up for that because that's
This
amazing.
year, he played in 13 games this year.
What's the stats looking like?
He had no starts. He's so far down the list that I can't see the top of the statistical category when I'm looking at it. But he played an average of 6 minutes in those games.
Okay.
He scored. These are not totals, but
what's his average?
He was getting 2.5 points per game.
Okay, that's 2.5.
Getting a bucket. Let's see, what are we getting on rebounds? 2 rebounds per game.
Okay, 2 and 2.
Getting a bucket, pulling down a couple of boards, and then having a seat.
Hey, that's not a bad gig.
Watching
man.
the game, having a bud.
Not bad at all. All right. ESPN, they predicted all the college football bowl game matchups, and Mark Slayball has the LSU Tigers making a trip to the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl to face Louisville. Are you taking or leaving Jacksonville as a desirable bowl location for Tiger Nation?
Look, it could be worse, I guess. I mean, it's no Independence Bowl, which is the GOAT, obviously. But look, if you get to a Florida Bowl, that's fine. I'm more concerned with not having like a Tuesday night game like we've had the last few times. The Texas Bowl is not great from that perspective. We played the Liberty Bowl, I think, against Notre Dame or Music City, maybe. Music City, and that was in the middle of the day. I had to like take some time off to watch that game. Let's try to find one that's like on a Saturday night or something. Maybe we can find our way to that. Maybe New Year's Day would be good. We'll see. This is I think I've decided Wednesday I'm doing my season preview with my predicted record.
Okay, that's right around the corner.
I think I'm going to do that on Wednesday, so we'll see kind of what I think. But yeah, Florida Bowl is not the worst place in the world. Trae Young posted pictures over the weekend on social media of him playing pickup in L.A., but 2 unlikely candidates were playing together with him, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. KD, Kyrie, both on the Nets next year. Take it or leave it.
I guess I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I just don't see they're not going to get what they want for either one of them, and they're asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars for either one of those guys. And so, I don't know. It's just tricky, but I just don't see them getting what they want for KD. KD wants to play basketball, so if they don't trade him, is he going to sit out? I don't think KD's going to sit out. And Kyrie already said he'll go back to the Nets, and so they're hanging out, they're playing basketball. I guess so, man. I guess I'll have to take that one.
All right. That'll do it for Take It or Leave It. One of the most preposterous things that I've seen in a long time happened to me on Saturday. Hanging out at a family friend's home. They've got what is called a cocktail pool. It's pretty small. It's like, if I had to guess, it's 20 feet long by 8 feet wide. Like, it's not your standard big pool, and it doesn't have like a deep end or anything. It doesn't even come up to my waist. It's for like little kids, and then you get in and have a cocktail, which is what we were doing on Saturday. Well, it turns out they had turned the heater on accidentally the night before, so the pool was really hot. It was borderline uncomfortable. So my buddy Uber Eats 30 bags of ice.
Wait.
30 bags of ice. What? And then went ahead and put the ice in the pool. It worked. It worked. It cooled the pool off.
Wait a minute. How do you order
Uber
ice?
Eats.
Uber
the
Eats
Uber driver
ice?
Pulled up apparently with like 1 million bags of ice in the back of the car and just started unloading.
Oh my goodness! Look, I've heard some stories. I've never heard of ice.
I've never seen it either.
Look, I guess it's even sanitary at that point.
Now the funny part about it is, and this we should have realized, right? We dumped the ice in. We're sitting there. It cooled the pool off significantly. They didn't have a thermometer on it, but it cooled the pool off significantly. But it rained like an hour later, which would have cooled it off like that. Waste of, I don't know what Brock's been on, probably like $50 on ice. I don't know what a bag costs an Uber Eats with a delivery fee, but hey, we cooled the pool off. Can't be driving around when you're having cocktails. So Had to have somebody come bring us the ice. But I'd never seen it. And you can't really do it. If it was a full-size pool, you would have no chance. But because the pool is so small, like you have a chance to cool it off. We made it work.
Look, I'd be worried the ice melt before it even got there.
That's a good point. I mean, the ice melts in the pool pretty quick, but it did cool it off. Just a preposterous story of cooling off a swimming pool so that we can enjoy some beverages in the pool while the ladies dealt with all the kids and we wasted away a Saturday. But as I mentioned Friday, like I'm ready for football to dominate the weekends. Like when I'm cranky when the baseball season ends and immediately somebody has to drive. Oh, it's football season. No, I need a second, decompress, get through the summer. But like it eventually comes up upon a time where I'm ready for that to dominate the entire weekend. I'm ready for college football all day Saturday. I'm ready for the late nights that come with the post-game show. I'm ready for Sundays with some NFL football. Like it's it's coming. It's coming quick. And on Sunday, you're doing the post game late, and then we're doing the show, and then we're doing the show on Monday. No, because LSU plays Florida State on Sunday.
Oh yeah. But you're right for the first game of the season. But in general,
it will be Sunday.
It will be a lot of Sundays. So I'll be ready. But look, it's football. Can't complain during football season.
It's time to have that dominate your weekend instead of trying to ice down your swimming pool, which was, again, a preposterous thing that happened. So if you missed any of our show today, catch it on demand, 1045ESPN.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all of those places. If you would please subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. We open things with Saints and Packers talk. Then hit some NFL storylines at 12:15, at 12:30. Started talking LSU football from over the weekend. Jeremy's lead toss. We talked about what the running back position looks like for the first two games now that John Emery is likely to miss those first two games. That was at 1 o'clock. Meet the freshmen at 1:15, Quincy Wiggins and Fitzgerald West, and Jay Johnson reaction as he met with the media just a few minutes ago at Alex Box Stadium. So that was all at 1:30. You can catch that all on demand. As we mentioned, coming up over the next couple of days, we'll get some fantasy football chatter. We'll get some Florida State thoughts. And I think on Wednesday, I'm going to give my season prediction for LSU football wins and losses. Kind of got a little bit of a bigger feel for it. I'm excited to get out there tomorrow. We'll be able to watch a little bit of the scrimmage at 4:45 now that school is in session. So looking very much forward to that. Matt Moscona is going to drive you home this afternoon from 3 to 6 on After Further Review. Jimmy Ott's Game Time, 6 to 8. Mario and Musso coming at you next with Early Line. We will see y'all tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of Hunt and Hill, 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.